Now, South Korea and the United States will hold talks on their bilateral free trade agreement next week in Washington on possibly amending the five-year-old deal. With round one of negotiations just around the corner, both sides are said to be staking out their positions. Cha Sang-mi reports.
Top negotiators from Korea's Trade Ministry and the U.S. Trade Representative will sit down next Friday to begin negotiations over the amendment of the two countries' five-year-old trade deal. The first round of negotiations is set for January 5th in Washington, D.C. Korea's Ministry for Trade, Industry and Energy announced on Thursday that the revision is likely to be partial as the U.S. hasn't gone through all the legal steps necessary for a full revision of the FTA. In order to carry out a full revision of the trade deal, the U.S. would have had to follow Trade Promotion Authority procedures, such as stating its intentions to Congress 90 days before the renegotiations begin. The Trump administration wants to make amendments in multiple fields, such as the automobile and agro-livestock sectors, in a bid to alleviate its goods trade deficit. Seoul is seeking to protect sensitive sectors like agriculture while vying for what it calls a mutually beneficial deal. The Korean government hasn't revealed what demands it will make at the talks, but experts say there are a few expected moves.
The Korean government seems to be interested in weakening the investor settlement mechanism, the ISD, and weakening the conditions to impose safeguards on American beef. Some other cards that we can play is anti-dump.
Yet since Congress supports the U.S. anti-dumping measures, the experts predict that attacking the anti-dumping measures might be a somewhat dangerous move. Korea's Trade Ministry in its report to the National Assembly last week said that the U.S. side is likely to request tariff adjustments to recover its trade imbalance. The negotiations will be led by Korea's Director General for FTA negotiations Yoo Myung-hee and U.S. Assistant Trade Representative Michael Beeman. The representatives of Korea and the U.S. have already held two preliminary meetings to arrange the amendment talks since the Moon and Trump administrations came into power earlier this year. Cha Sang-mi, Arirang News.